Hello, everyone. I am very excited to be announcing a new in person BDSM retreat. The main two courses in person in BDSM that I've been offering have been the original, the fabulous Tantra Meets BDSM, which I've been teaching with my mentor and co teacher and friend, Lori Handlers. For many years, it was in a way the first main workshop I offered. And it's been going great. Over the years, we have expanded that class from a weekend workshop to a 6-day retreat. And it's been great. The expansion from the weekend to the 6-day retreat was in response to how much the course was growing, how much the course material was growing. We felt so cramped in a weekend format because we had accumulated so many modules and so many conversations that the weekend felt very sparse for how much we wanted to give the students and the arc through which we wanted to take them. So we expanded it to a whole full six-day retreat, which we've been doing several times already. We are going to be offering it just next month in Austria. In August, we offered it in Austria last year. We offered it in Tulum this year and last year. And business has been good. Our classes have been full. Our Tulum workshop in February was sold out with about 50 students. Our coming workshop in Austria is close to being full at around 48 students. And there is requests and demands for even more. So in response to that, happily in response to more and more people seeking this work, seeking our work, seeking the BDSM training the way I'm offering it, I'm very happy to grow the offering, to grow the business, and have done a bit of a mitosis, a splitting of the cell of our current Tantra Meets BDSM 6-day offering. Even the 6-day offering, in a way, has become so full, it's become so packed with so many modules and ideas. And a great variety of people are coming in for this training. Some of them who are very new to BDSM and are newbies and are very tentative and just want to learn a little bit. And then also in the mix are people who are much more advanced players who really want a deep dive in BDSM, who have listened to some of my podcasts and some of my online work, and they want the intensity, they want the deeper immersion. So we've decided to kind of create two workshops. The first one will continue to be called Tantra Meets BDSM. Lori and I will continue to teach that together. And then the second workshop, that's going to be just a full-on Om Rupani experience. God help you if that's what you want. But it's going to be 7 days locked in a dungeon with me in a beautiful resort. And it's going to be a much deeper dive. We're going to go into more risque, more controversial, more advanced topics of BDSM exploration. So people will have a choice of two. The Tantra Meets BDSM will be more of how we can extract the wonderful principles of sensuality and conscious touch and relating from Tantra, and also how we can extract the wonderful energetics of holding the dom space, the subspace, of creating containment, also doing BDSM play, using rope bondage, some impact play, spanking, training, but using kind of a light BDSM and focus on kind of using the principles of it to expand the sensuality of people, the sensuality of couples. A bit of a focus on how to translate the dom-sub energies into man-woman relating energies, since that's a very common thing people seek out our work for. So it's a very gentle entry point. Tantra meets BDSM. Now, a little disclaimer, the upcoming class in Austria, those who have already signed up, please don't worry. We're going to deliver the class you're expecting. We have all our materials at hand. We have all our modules at hand, so we're not going to jip you of anything. We always respond to the class, and we will feel into what is present in the class, and we will deliver the class you have registered for. But going forward, we will kind of split the curriculum between these two classes. So I want to share a little bit about the new class and tell you about it's open for registration by the time you hear this. The location of the first class is looks amazingly beautiful. I haven't been there yet myself, but it's going to be in Cyprus. It's going to be in Cyprus in February of 25. So we still have a few months. Place looks absolutely gorgeous, completely by the seaside. You can hear right by the sea. It looks like a honeymoon resort. And I think it's going to be an amazing experience. And it's going to be a 7-day retreat. It's going to be a very full curriculum. Both the retreats are designed in such a way that you don't need any prerequisites. We really, in the Tantra meets BDSM and in this new course, which I have titled BDSM Principles and Dom-Sub Exploration, you don't need any previous knowledge or experience of BDSM. The courses are designed so that we can build from the ground up. So there isn't any, you don't need to be an expert to come into this class. But this particular class is going to be pretty intense. It's going to progress very rapidly over the 7 days into deeper and deeper topics. It's going to be a bit more of an intense experience. And neither are the two workshops level 1 and level 2. I've never been a big fan of level 1 and level 2. I know sometimes you can't avoid that structure, but there's actually going to be a lot of different material in each class. There's going to be some overlap because the basic principles have to be taught in both classes, but maybe there's a 25% overlap in the beginning part, and then Tantra meets BDSM will deal more with incorporating tantric and BDSM principles into one's sensuality, into one's connection, and the other course, BDSM principles and Dom-Sub exploration, is going to go into what we would traditionally consider a lot hotter and kinkier BDSM topics. So you're welcome to come look at the course page. I'll post the link with the video. I'll read a few of the things. So I've divided the explorations or the modules, topics, into beginning level exploration, intermediate level exploration, and then advanced exploration. Once again, this is for the new, more intense BDSM course. So one thing I am noticing more and more is how much, even with so-called regular people, vanilla people, I actually probably don't know any vanilla people anymore, but people are so much incorporating a sensual community. People are seeking out a sensual community more and more. People are going to group gatherings, people are going to parties, to dungeons, to play nights, and they are very much enjoying, even couples who are in a partnership, primary partnership, more and more they're enjoying the ambiance of the group, the play that's possible in the group. I think in the feminine particularly, but also in some men, but particularly in the feminine, the desire to be seen, the desire to be put on display is a very consistent part of erotic turn on. And to do that, you actually need a little bit of a community. You need the others. You need a container bigger than just the two people playing alone. So that's something I would love to kind of introduce deliberately, consciously. I think so many people are seeking out workshop containers and so forth because part of the draw is here I get to play in a group and they're seeking that group play. So I think it's kind of time people started becoming aware that they actually want this in their life, that there are many kinds of erotic play that can only happen in a bigger group. Even if that interaction is as straightforward as we just want to see other people and we want to be seen by other people, even if you never lay hands on anybody else. But then, of course, going further from that, being in a partnership, a stable partnership, and then having erotic moments with other people, I think is becoming more and more common. It really isn't for kinky people anymore. New York Times and Wall Street journals are printing articles about well-to-do people and average people, quote unquote, seeking out these spaces, going to these parties, opening up their relationship. I think it is where we're headed, and I think it's a good thing. I think we need to switch to a mindset of the erotic banquet rather than two people who are supposed to be each other's erotic heroes for 30 years. I don't think that's how actually we are built. I think we should learn how to build stable partnerships, great domestic partnerships. People who want to raise families should absolutely be great partners together and raise great kids together. But Eros thrives on a little strange ass, and it'd be great if we can be honest about it and then actually go about creating that in a very controlled, deliberate, adult way. Adult in the sense like, let's actually talk about it, let's actually create what we want to create instead of trying to grab it on the sly and then burning the house down at the tail end of it. So, this is an element that is always present in a week long container, in a group container. And here in this class, I would really like to make that an active part. I plan on doing group scenes on certain evenings and really engaging the group together so that people can find their turn on in this. And then there are other deeper cuts that come out of this, uh, certain kinds of more intense plays which require at least a third, if not more. Other kind of deeper cuts are doing exclusion play and jealousy play. This is something that is very common. This is something that is happening oftentimes accidentally. People are not doing this deliberately, so it's ending up being accidental, accidental play. People are creating accidental exclusion play. People are creating accidental jealousy play and then having breakdowns. I've seen this many, many times, and it's really not great. We look like amateurs when this happens. We don't really look very impressive when adults who have been together come to a party or come into a container, and then by the end of the night, they are in a complete breakdown because they haven't accounted for what is going to happen in a group container. Who's going to feel excluded? Where is the jealousy going to be triggered? Nobody has accounted for it. And BDSM is brilliant at really turning into the darkness, turning into the triggers. So that's another area I would love to play with in this new course. And again, that's really it's a bit intense. We are really going in there. Parent-child play is very potent. So far, we've been doing parent-child play in Tantra meets BDSM, we may keep that piece there because it has multiple uses. Certain parent-child play can simply be, it can be erotic, it can be fun, it can be naughty, but there's also deep possibilities of catharsis in parent-child scenes. And so we'll see how it fits. Another hot topic, consensual cuckolding. Consensual cuckolding. I think this is, in a way, a cousin of exclusion play and jealousy play. I think because so many people are opening up their relationships these days, we need to almost reclaim this term cuckolding, make it friendly, right? Within consensual cuckolding, at least the way I will teach it, it will include the entire range from compersion to a deep humiliation scene of being excluded and having your partner be with somebody else. To me, that whole range belongs under consensual cuckolding, where somebody is in a primary partnership, two people are in a primary partnership, and then they have some good reason for one of the partners engaging with somebody else, right? And there's a range of scenarios in which that basic scenario can play out. It can be simply the person observing enjoys seeing their partner with somebody else. They may even enjoy setting up the scene for their partner. And there are other dynamics that come in which are quite interesting and complicated. Sometimes there's a reclamation element that many couples really get off on. That yes, you will be with other people for these next 2, 3 hours, and after that, I will reclaim you. I've seen couples find a lot of eros in that energy. And these are the things, I think, these are the brave steps people need to take to truly discover who they are as erotic creatures and to keep their sensual lives interesting. And at the deep end of this is again what BDSM thrives at, which is it can be a deliberate form of humiliation where the person being excluded, it really, the scene belongs to them. That their partner pairing with somebody else is essentially a humiliation scene being orchestrated for the person who's left out. Because people want to go into their fears, they want to go into their uh, areas where they feel they might lose, where they have doubt, right? This is very intense play, it is very sophisticated play, it really needs to be taught well and done well. So this is why I think it's worthwhile to actually nerd, be a nerd about it, to geek out about it, and to actually teach it, to write modules on it, to actually consider it, to see a range of reasons why people might do something like this and why are you doing it, and then to actually design a scene that doesn't burn your house down, that is actually that you can actually walk away from with the result that you were desiring, whether that result was simply compersion for the observer and more sensual pleasure and play for the person who's engaging, whether it is a humiliation scene, but then in the end, you actually want to walk away from this fire. You don't want to, you don't want the house burnt down by the end of the night. And I've seen breakdowns here. And then in the advanced exploration, we have things like punishment scenes. Won't go into it here. Consensual non-consent is a very big area of desire. It is a very common fantasy in the feminine. Nobody wants it for real. But to have it in a scene play, to have it in a way that you are in charge of the scene structure and the people involved, and you know you have your safe words and you're participating in the design of the scene, people can have a lot of get off in consensual non-consent scenes. But again, it is very It can be very triggering, it can be very intense. This is why I feel all these hot topics, they kind of belong in their own intensive. There are many people who want to dip their toes into BDSM, and they may get too overwhelmed by all these topics. It would be great if they might treat Tantra meets BDSM as their level one and then come to this as level two, even though it is not necessarily. And finally, in the topics are things like transitioning from scene play to lifestyle. And this is a very, very rich topic. I actually believe it's a very natural progression. I think it actually is the progression of the investigation of the archetypes. That if you do scene play enough, if you do dungeon play enough, bedroom play enough, and you go deep enough into your Dom archetype and your submissive archetype, over time, at least the curiosity will arise on what would it be like for me to be in my Dom archetype more often and outside the bedroom, and similarly for the submissive to say, what would it be for me to embody my submissive more fully? Walking down the street, sitting on the subway, in my relationship dynamic. What might that look like? And other things that come out of that are things like ownership dynamics and ultimately master slave dynamics. These are very, very big topics. They can be mini workshops on their own, but I want to introduce these topics, have people think about them, give people at least some kind of a roadmap on how people may progress. That's a brief outline. You can visit the course page and read more about it. This particular retreat, it will be in Cyprus, Greece on February 12th through 18th, 2025. 7-day retreat. So, really looking forward to it. If you have any questions, please reach out. Happy to talk to you. Until then, Lori and I are really, really looking forward to our upcoming retreat in Austria, our Tantra meets BDSM. After this retreat, we will announce some changes to the Tantra meets BDSM structure going forward, and we will make an announcement and share those shifts. Good, I think. Yeah, thank you.